the best description of it I have so far, which is this. We are now a company making a narrative adventure game type thing with high player freedom. So that's the goal. That's what I'm attempting to present to you, is our system for producing a narrative adventure game type thing with high player freedom. Now, if you were to walk into a design meeting with that rubric, of course, everyone would say that I can see an immediate question, which is, you what? After all, what is freedom exactly? What does it mean? How do we offer it to a player? What are we actually talking about? This is really interesting. This is a really interesting question. What do we mean when we say player freedom? When we say player agency, we're pretty good at analyzing that. We can say, well, can you formulate a strategy? Can you execute a plan? Those are the sort of questions. But what's the right question for this freedom concept that I'm sort of loosely defining? Well, I think the right question to be asking is actually, what question is the player asking themselves? That's the question we should be asking. What's the player thinking? So here is my freedom axis. This is my beautiful graph of a freedom axis. And at the very bottom of the freedom axis, and I want to stress this is not pejorative, but the least free games, the most tightly linear games, the player is asking, what am I supposed to do now? What am I meant to do next? And we've all played games like that. Monkey Island is like that. Uncharted is like that. Shadow of the Colossus is like that. Here I am in a situation. What's the thing I'm supposed to do? What have I not seen yet that I'm supposed to see? Now, we have to be a bit honest with ourselves here. I don't think the designers at Naughty Dog were really hoping that when you play Uncharted, you're thinking, what am I meant to do now? I think that's not what they were going for. But it is definitely true that we are thinking that, and a lot of the best level design moments in Uncharted 4 are jokes specifically about the fact that they know people are thinking like this. You walk into a room, you can't see any way forward, you think, what am I supposed to do now? You turn around and the exit is behind you. That's a gag set up by a level designer because they know that you're thinking this question, because it's a tightly linear game. So if we open it out a little bit more, the next question is, what can I do? And obviously, there are games that fit that mold. In Assassin's Creed, I asked myself, what can I do now? Well, I could go over here. I could approach this stealthily and get that wrong. I could attack this guy, whatever. The Witcher, RPGs in general. 80 Days and Sorcery, of course, sit at the top of this class, the very paragon of the example of the broader game. And I'm sure you'll agree, all of that. But what's above that? What's even freer than the question, what can I do? Well, the one that we're aiming for, the one that we love, the one that we should be targeting if we are narrative designers, is, yikes, what have I done? That's the perfect state. That's the sweet spot that we actually want to achieve. It's very rare for a game to achieve this consistently the whole way through, and that's OK. It's a target. But I felt that quite often playing Horizon Zero Dawn. I would often go to a dinosaur, lay a complex system of traps. They would all go hideously wrong. The robots would plow straight through them, and I'd be attacked by some great big thing I wasn't qualified to deal with. And I would think, yikes, what have I done? And that was great. That was a genuine sense that I had freedom. And with freedom comes great responsibility, great ability to mess things up. Right? When we're free to do things, we're free to get stuff wrong. Obviously, Dishonored plays with this, and Thief is kind of the example. A level of Thief always starts off with taking one minor decision that escalates into a farce of hiding guards in cupboards and running away. It's never been bettered, I think. A couple of other comments. Obviously, the ordering of the game in this list could be debated, but why would you bother? It's not a classification. Not all games fit into this in any meaningful way. If you're playing Minesweeper, you're thinking, why am I playing this?